right? This is the graph that is given. We have the graph represented by the f of x equals to a over x plus b plus q, and is saving the domain of negative infinity to 1 and 1 to positive infinity, meaning that this one here is not included again. So if it's not included, is a what? Is a an asymptote. So here's an asymptote of x equals to 1. So now this is shown by that domain, and then now on that domain, what do we see? It means okay, it's fine. They say f cuts the y-axis at 0 and 1. So at 0 and 1, here's the 0 and 1. Here it means our 1. Okay? That is what this limit say. And now they're saying the graph or a line of symmetry of f is given by this equation. What is line of symmetry? Is the equation of the axis of symmetry again. So remember, we get it from when? If it's from that f of x, it will be f of x equals to x plus p plus q again. And the other one is saying f of x equals to minus into x plus p plus q in that case. So now this one is with negative gradient, this one is with positive gradient. One again. Now what is given here is given with what? Positive gradient. Can you see that? So if this is given with positive gradient, and then now what do you do? It means what are you lowering? These values. What is happening here? Look at something. This point of intersection here. At this point of intersection, it must be two values. The values of x, which is 1, and the value of y again. And that value of y, remember, is that this line of the symmetry is going to pass through this point of intersection. When I come out during this line of x of symmetry passes through this intersection. When I so meaning I can use this equation to get the y value. When I so now let's go to the questions and see what they want. Write down the value of p. How do you get the value of p? Remember, p in this case, what this one again. So what is that? It means we are going to say, okay, if I want to solve the x the asymptote, what do I do? I will say x equals to, can you see that? But now, what is it that is on the asymptote now on the graph? It's 1. So we're going to put what? 1 here. Can you see that? So now we say 1 plus p equals to 0. So what is the value of p? Negative 1. So that when we substitute it back there, we have x minus 1. But when we solve for axis of symmetry, for the asymptote, you say x minus 1 equals to 0, then get x equals to 1. Because if we are more of x plus 1 equals to 0, then what are we doing? Which is more or p out positive? What are we doing? Which is more or asymptote? Your x equals to minus 1, which is not correct. So sometimes you don't the same thing. So it's better you copy that and then you substitute the asymptote that is being given, and you get p equals to negative 1. Is that clear? Alright, number 2, calculate the or determine the equation of the horizontal. Yes. Arrange your mind. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yes. We want the value of p. What is the value of p? Agree, I will show you what is the value of P. You must answer the question because when I am not answering the question, when I am looking for the domain, and the domain is given. Yeah, the value of P here is not the domain, it's the asymptote. Like one again. That's why we share what is P. P there is the asymptote. Asymptote, when you want it, you go to the graph or you go to the equation. That is the only way. So this one, they are just, obviously in this case, I could why about video one because it means this statement now is no longer fruitful because our failure is between, rather from one we go there, from negative, from the other one we go there. So but by one one, so that when I go to a lot, okay, since one play this domain, it means here kima one. But the video by one the one I have several tokens. So such of a domain never very silent with everything like what. But now of video only one to one. So that domain I saw stress that much. So now P is the asymptote. So be careful. When we want the asymptote, just do it like that. So P is minus 1. Determine the equation of the horizontal asymptote. Horizontal asymptote, which one is horizontal? The horizontal asymptote is this one. So this is the y equals to, we want that again. But now, this y is the same as this y value here. Now if that is the same, what do you do? Because we have the x of symmetry, now we can go and get that equation of g of x equals to x minus, because this point, if it are moving, x is 1, and what? And y is 1. So it means we're going to substitute this point in this equation and what? Now we'll say y equals to x equal to 1 minus 3. So what will be y? Negative 2. So now, what is that? Already we are not solving again. It's an horizontal asymptote. So it means here now we'll have negative 2 instead of what? Instead of 1. So we have negative 2. We will solve it. That's why horizontal is y equals to a number. Vertical is x equals to. Is there any question? Right, we move on. Now, if we have the asymptote, can we say now we have two asymptotes. So it means our partially incomplete function is what? We have f of x equals to a over x minus 1 minus 2. That is partially incomplete equation. What? Because now we have the value of a, we have the value of p in that case. The value of, we have the value of q and a from that equation. From this equation, remember this is our asymptote, this is our asymptote, we have them again. So now they will ask us to get what? The value of a maybe. Yeah, calculate the value of a. How do you get the value of a? Now they said there is one point passing through this graph again. The graph of hyperbola, which is the point here. So we're given that is 0 and 1. And this 0 and 1 is saving x and 1. Now if we go into that function and put the x and 1, you will have that. So this is our function. So in this function, if you put the x and the y, you only have one unknown, which is a, and it's what they are looking for. So now we say, what is the value of y? Is 1 equals to a over x divided by 0 minus 1 minus 2. So it means what we have, 1 equals to negative a, negative 2. So 2 equals to positive. Now we get a equals to yeah, equals to negative 3. With formula algebra. Yeah, so because now we take this one to be 1 plus 2 equals to negative a. Right now you can get to a equals to minus 3. So now we have a complete function, say f of x equals to negative 3 over x minus 1 minus 2. Then this is our complete equation after having to calculate the value of a. Right, so for which values of x is f of x greater than 0? Meaning greater or equals to 0, meaning it must be above. So give a Gaudima 0 meaning what? On the Cartesian plane, so give a Gaudima which line? On the Cartesian plane, so give above which line? Line above below is only one. It's x-axis, right? What? Because the vertical one, y-axis is only left or right. So when you say greater than 0, y must be greater than 0. It's above the x-axis, I get. So let's go to the graph and see if you can get those values. Right. Now this is the graph that say we must get for f of x is greater or equals to 0. So meaning that y must be greater or positive, which means greater or 0, which means must be positive. And for y is greater than 0, then of course I can go and start at y equals to 0, which is this line. Can you see that? So at this line, I know y equals to 0, but I need greater equals to 0 again. So if that is the case, I want everything above this line, right? But starting from that line. So what will graph here? Yeah, f. Kimo guy already change at this point, right? At this point, the graph, kamu aita kamu pastoral is going to be what? That means y will be less than 0. In that case, it goes y will be less than 0. But above this one, y will be greater than 0. But this one said must start from 0. So I need to get this value here. So which is the x-intercept when I get this is the x-intercept I get. So now how can I get the x-intercept? We must get the equation I get. On our equation, we know y is 0 I get. Because there is no way you can guess that value. So if that's the case, I'll say 0 equals to negative 3 over x minus 1 minus 2. So obviously we have 2 equals to negative 3 over x minus 1. I know cross multiply will say 2 into x minus 1 equals to negative 3. So I will not waste time by multiplying out. I'll say x minus 3 equals to negative 3 over 2. So x equals to negative 3 we'll say negative 3 over 2 plus 3. Then that will be the value of x. Let's see if we can get it right. So say negative 3 over 2 plus 3. You get 3 over 2. So now we get value of x. Yes. X is what? What did we do wrong? Negative 3 over 2. This is positive is fine. Let's see. The step, this one is fine, I get. Now multiply it here, x. And then this one is fine. Oh, this is 1, not 3, I get. This is 1. And then when it goes there, it's supposed to be plus 1, I get. So what is that? So it's supposed to be minus plus 1 again, not plus 3. That is 1, negative 1 over 2. So x equals to negative 1 over 2. So I know that here is negative 1 over 2. So now we can write the answer here. Now for that, it means now we know that x is at negative 1 over 2, okay? But that is not the answer. Now, what is the correct answer? Our x should be what? Should be greater than or equals to negative 1 over 2. So, but the best thing is to get this. But even if you wrote the answer here, they'll give you full marks, only the answer. You just came up with x is greater than that part. So if you wrote this one, you'll get your full marks. Greater or equals to minus 1, because on the question was also given greater or equal. And then let's check again to the graph. Yes. You said greater than. Now let's check if the x can continue up until infinity. That is the first part, I get. Let's check if it can continue up to infinity. Now if you can check, the x from here, or the x will be moving in that way when I get. But can x pass through this point? So it means now we must go and invert, or rather, this point must not be included, okay? And then it will always be below this side. Again, this graph is actually a graph. So that the graphic will not very close to this line, but it will never go there. So that there is a limitation of x to go to the infinity, when I get positive infinity. Then now the second answer will say that part and x should never be should be less than what? Should be less than 1. And cannot be 1. You cannot say equal when I. So now these two solutions are the answer. So what is the another way of implementing this? We'll say x is between, what is the smallest number? Negative 1 over 2 and 1. But this one is not having an equality because it's at the asymptote. You cannot include the asymptote. So this will be your full marks, or you can write this one. You can get your full marks. The last part was for including derivatives, so it's not part of grade 5.5. It's just grade 12 because they took